Yo, ¿cómo están? Que voila, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing great. This is Wild on Twos, and thank you for stopping by my channel. For anyone that is watching this for the first time, if you do like the video, please hit the like, the subscribe, and the little bell for future notifications, and you can look back on previous videos. This week's topic I came up with because I did learn the hard way. I do a lot of cross-country bike trips, and every state has different motorcycle laws. If you combine last week's video of bikers' rights and use this video of knowing the laws of each state, you can combine both of them and it'll be a tremendous help. Because they do look for this. The cops, when you're passing through state lines, they know that not everybody knows every state's laws. So, the Motorcycle Legal Foundation actually made this guideline and put together the top 6 most common laws you should be aware of when you're going through each state. So we're going to be going coast to coast with this, and we're going to get started right now. Let's go. Hey again, this is Wild on Twos, and let's just get started. We're going to go over the top 6 most common laws you should be aware of in each state. We're going to start off with motorcycle helmet laws. So it's going to be broken up into categories: required by law with age restrictions, required by law with conditions, and not required. When there's required by law, that means that the helmet that you're using should be a DOT certified helmet. And you're going to have the certified helmet is going to have the manufacturer name, model, and the text. I think the text, I don't know, it's FMVSS218 or something. And a DOT on the helmet to signify it's been certified and met the safety guidelines. So what's required by law is going to be the state of Washington, Oregon, Nevada, California, Alaska, Nebraska, Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, I think Maryland, and New York. What's required by law with age restriction are going to be some of the states that require a certain age, usually between 17 to 20 years old. And it may not be applicable, I think it said to be both the passenger and operator. So required by law with age restriction: Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, great state of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and last but not least, Maine. Alright, great. We're at a light. This is going to be tougher than I thought. I'm going to continue this here after we get done with this light. Okay, we're moving again. So, let me see where I left off. Required by law with conditions is the next one. And when I mean conditions, there's a few states that you have to wear these reflective things on the helmet. Let me see if I remember this. I think it was West Virginia, New Jersey, and Vermont. So Vermont, you need to wear the helmets, and it has to be with the damn reflectors on. And there's only 2 states that don't require helmets. So even if you're riding to these states, you need to wear a helmet until you get to these states. And it was Iowa and Illinois. So Iowa and Illinois, you do not need a helmet to ride on, no matter the age. Alright, so we're just merging on here to the highway. The next one is the one that I got in trouble for, and that is motorcycle eye protection laws. And the ones required by law, and these 12 states require approved eye protection when you're on the motorcycle, whether you're the passenger or the operator. And that was Utah, Colorado, Minnesota, Arkansas, Louisiana, Florida, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York. And I got in trouble in Colorado. So, yeah. So then there's required by law unless you're fitted with a windscreen. And sometimes there's not a specific size of windscreen, and then there's going to be some that require at least 15 inches above the handlebars. So I think if that's correct. Washington, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Illinois, Tennessee, Georgia, Ohio, Virginia, I think it's Connecticut, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Then you have required by law with criteria. And there's 3 states. And the criteria, I think it requires eye protection if you're under the age of 18. And I think in Massachusetts requires I think instructor permit, and in South Carolina requires like under the age of 21. So like I said, 3 states are Wisconsin, Michigan, and South Carolina. And actually, I think it was, yeah, in Massachusetts. Yep, Massachusetts. That's what I think I remember. All right. So then no requirement at all. Of course, the great state of Texas. California, Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Mississippi, Alabama, and Maine. Man, this is not easy at all. So the next law is motorcycle noise restriction. So, I mean, in the highway, you're not going to really get bothered for that too much. It's more when you're driving through the frontage roads and neighborhoods. I mean, this is a pain in the ass to remember here, but I mean, at least I'll just go at least with the no requirements, because I know that one for sure. These states, you're free to run whatever you want. Straight pipe cutouts, it doesn't matter. So that's Alaska, the great state of Texas again, Wyoming, Iowa, Arkansas, Alabama, and Georgia. And I think there's one more, I think it was Vermont. So where mufflers are required, there's 11 states that mufflers are required. And that's going to be Washington, Oregon, Montana, Colorado, Missouri, Louisiana, West Virginia, Virginia, Maine. No, I'm missing one. I can't remember. Oh well. The list I just read out of the states, that just mufflers required. There's not really a specific decibel that they're going to need you by. So the next one is going to be mufflers required with no modifications. So a handful of states basically needs mufflers can't be louder than OEM. And that's going to be Utah, New Mexico, South Dakota, Nebraska, Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, New Jersey, and New Hampshire. Okay guys, if I did not name a state yet, we're just going to make this easier on myself. Those states, mufflers are required, then cutouts or bypasses are illegal. So we're going to go to the next topic, motorcycle passenger laws. And I see this one all the time, and it's pretty simple. You have passenger restrictions. There's 5 states that dictate that the passenger can't be under the age of 5 and 8. And we'll start off with Texas. Texas is one of them. Arkansas, Louisiana, and Washington. Damn it. Oh yeah, and Hawaii. I think that's 5. And there's no restrictions for the other 46 territories. So, like I said, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Hawaii, and Washington are the only ones that for passengers have restrictions, and they have to, you know, I think the restrictions, each one is different. Like Texas, you can't be under the age of 5, and some of the other ones, but it's a range of 5 to 8. And our next one, number 5, and that's going to be motorcycle daytime headlights. So in other words, that's going to be your daytime running lights. Required by law, there's about, I think it said 18 states, you have to have your light on, and is required throughout the whole time. And modulated headlights are permitted on these states I'm going to be reading out. So you can have modulated headlights are permitted. And that's Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Virginia, and the other ones, there's Vermont, New Hampshire, and I don't know what else, but I think that's about it. But required by law, like I said, are going to be Washington, Oregon, Montana, Wyoming, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Alaska, South Carolina, North Carolina, West Virginia, New York, and Maine. And required after specific manufacturer date. And that's another one, and I think it's the latest model year is allowed is 1956. And that's Texas, California, Iowa, Kansas, yeah, I think it's Indiana, and Pennsylvania, and Connecticut. And the last one with no restrictions, which is a bad habit, I think you should always have your lights on, is Maryland. And number 6, and it's the easiest one for me to do, is lane splitting. Because there's only really one state that's legal. I think there's one state. There might be another one, but I know California is the only legal state that you can lane split. Where it's illegal, well, there's too many, the majority, but I'll mention this. Ones that weren't mentioned, and not specifically prohibited, but they still say it's kind of illegal, but by law, it's not mentioned in the law, is Texas, New Mexico, Montana, Oklahoma, Missouri, Alabama, no, not Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and North Carolina. The rest of the states, if I did not mention, are illegal. So when you're planning a long distance trip, these are one of the things that you have to know and make sure you read of what states you're going through and which laws are important. These are the 6 main laws that they look for. Alright guys, well thank you very much. That was a disaster in my brain to try to memorize all that. Hopefully some of you are going to look back and look at some state laws. And if there's anything I missed, please put them down in the comment section. And I really do appreciate the support. And to the new subscribers, thank you very much. Much love and respect. God bless. Have a great day.